Hey guys, quick disclaimer. The Nosy Hens podcast talks about content that is not suitable for children and might bring you some discomfort too. This includes violence and abuse of all kinds, strong language, and graphic descriptions. Listener discretion is advised.
What you say? What?
It's the Nosy Hens podcast. I feel like we're gonna do this every time because we gotta come in with a bang.
Yes, we do. Hey, robot on they asshole. Hey, and I'm flowing like the water, yo.
Ooh.
Hey, I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, but we got something for y'all coming though.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm gonna have to turn the music down, but yeah, we got something coming for y'all, boy. Y'all ain't gonna know what to do with yourself. Hey, so how you doing, girl? How you doing?
I'm better now
You are?
that we're going to discuss some crimes today.
Let me
Let me tell you something.
Excuse her, y'all.
Let me tell you something.
What? Tell me something.
I don't know if you believe in the zodiacs and stuff, but I be kind of like believing because some of the traits be true.
Yeah.
I am a true Cancer. Do you understand me?
No wonder we have such good chemistry.
Yes.
They say Scorpios and Cancers are really compatible.
Yes. And look, my mom's a Scorpio.
Yeah.
My sister's a Scorpio.
Yeah.
The other sister, I don't know what the beginning of October is. October.
I feel like
September, October, whatever that is. That
oh, you know what? No, I think Scorpios come in like the second week of October or something like that.
Like the 21st. The 22nd starts the Scorpio.
Does it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I got a lot of Scorpios in my life.
And you get along with them well?
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Well, of course, no relationship is perfect.
Well, that's true.
So.
That's true. But me, I am a true crab.
Yeah.
And when I come out and I shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like
and
a diamond.
after I shine bright like a diamond, I need to go back in my shell.
Yes.
For at least 7 to 10 business days.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, please.
I understand.
Don't talk to me.
Girl.
Let me just be in my space.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm going to be really crabby.
I get it. I get it.
I'm going to be very crabby. And you don't want me to be like that.
Y'all, you don't. A-Rain is super nice.
Yes, I am.
But
if I don't get my sleep, and I don't get my reset time for people, it's going to be a whole thing.
It is.
A whole thing. Well, off me, how about you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, and guess what? Because we is the Nosy Hens podcast.
Yes, we is.
I'm one of your favorite nosy hens. You can call me Jazz.
I'm your other favorite nosy hen.
She just had to start smacking.
You can call me A-Rain.
Y'all, I made some Polish sausage, and she is smacking.
Yeah, I totally forgot that she was like, don't be eating on them. Because Jazz be thinking that
we are profesh.
This is profesh because we're in.
I ain't never heard no profesh person smacking in my ear.
Because you have to define.
How's this? Thank you for calling.
Girl, we don't work for no call center. We work for us.
And we do work for us.
We're our own boss.
Yes. I read a book. It's called How to Lead When You're Not in Charge. And he was saying that you are a leader even if you are just leading yourself.
That's so
and
true.
You are the most important leader to yourself. So
I concur.
Yeah, shout out to the person of that book.
Yeah. I totally forgot that you was like, I'm in pause. I leaned forward and was like, ooh, sausage!
Okay, let's get into this because we've spent 5 minutes entertain you guys without talking about true crime because we're multifaceted like that. But guess what I'm talking about today?
What, girl?
True crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have an actual, it's a good story. It's about a woman named Dorothy Scott, and it's called the Orange County Murder Mystery.
Ooh, this is giving me Scooby-Doo across the board.
Yes.
I feel it.
Yes.
Hold on, y'all.
Oh, my Lord. Why?
A little ASMR for you.
That is not ASMR.
This is.
That is ASM annoying. That's
I don't know if you heard my swallow. I'm sorry.
Ugh. I'm sorry, y'all. No, I'm sorry, you guys. This girl.
That's a little ASMR for you.
Oh my gosh. So we're talking about Dorothy Scott. Let me get into this. Now, Dorothy Scott was a 32-year-old single mother of one son, and she was living in California. She was born in 1948. So this is one of the older stories. She sadly, though, met a very tragic and mysterious end in 1980. So she was living with her aunt, and she worked as a secretary of 2 jointly owned stores in Anaheim, California. And back then, those stores, they were selling like psychedelic items like the lava lamps and the braided or the beaded curtains.
Like curtains and stuff.
Yeah, and then they also sold marijuana paraphernalia. Ooh. Now, but get this though. Dorothy was able to separate business from personal because she was the opposite. She did not smoke. She did not drink. She was a devout religious person and a homebody and everything. She was kind of just exactly the opposite. She was not a wild child.
Okay, so she just needed a job.
Yeah.
And she just worked
there. And she just worked there, and she did her job good.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
You got to. So I really wanted to name her son because I really just like this name. She named her son Shanti, but he went by Sean.
Oh.
But that's a cute name.
That is.
That is a cute name. So anyway, so she was very close to her parents. Her parents' names were Jacob and Vera Scott, and they would babysit Sean while she was at work sometimes. So on May 28th of 1980, Dorothy was at a work meeting where she noticed one of her coworkers. His name was Conrad Bostron, and he was looking ill. He was looking just like kind of sweaty and pale and all of that. So she was like, what's going on? Well, she also noticed that he had a red mark on his arm and it looked like a spider bite. Oh. So she and another coworker named Pam, they decided that they would drive Conrad to the ER, and sure enough, he was bitten by a black widow spider.
Brother was on his way out, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So it was very fortunate that he had some caring coworkers. Before they went to the hospital, Dorothy made a quick stop. She just wanted to make sure that her son was okay and let them know what was going on because they didn't have cell phones. Right. So she had done that, and I think she switched scarves or switched some kind of a article of clothing. I'm not sure why, but then they made it to the ER where he was diagnosed with a spider bite. Now, Dorothy and Pam, they stayed at the ER and waited for Conrad, and he wasn't discharged until like 11 at night. So they are some very
nice,
very good friends.
I'm like, all right, son. Look,
right, I would have dropped him off.
Okay, unless we're besties. I was like, all right, I'll call and check up on you.
Yeah,
in a few slices.
Yeah, I'll take you to the ER, but I'm dropping you off at the ER. But they stayed until he was discharged. So when he was discharged, they gave him medicine. So while he and Pam were filling his prescription, Dorothy said, I'm gonna go get the car and bring it around the front and you guys can hop in and then we'll go home. Well, Conrad and Pam, they finished with the prescription, so they're outside waiting for Dorothy, but they don't see her anywhere. So they're like, where the heck? So then they, go further out onto the parking lot to start looking for the car. And soon enough, they see her car, and it's like barreling towards Conrad and Pam. Like it's speeding towards her. They like, hey, Dorothy, hey. Well, the car just zooms past Pam and Conrad and then like makes a sharp right off the parking lot. So, of course, they like, what the heck is going on? Well, they think maybe there's some kind of an emergency with her son or somebody in her family that she just had to cut it out there. She couldn't make it,
So they didn't like actually see who was driving the car, but they just saw her car.
Right.
Okay.
And exactly.
Because I would think that you would see.
Well, it was night. It was night, and then they said that
didn't have well lit parking lots.
Right, and the high beams on the car were on, so they were blinded by the high beams. They just saw the car come toward them, going past them, and making their right out the parking lot. So that's what they assumed, that there was some kind of an emergency, because of course she wouldn't have left them just like that for no reason. Right. Well, then they finally make their way home, and it's hours, that have gone by. They're trying to get in touch with Dorothy just to make sure everything is okay. Mm-hmm. They don't hear from Dorothy, so they decide to go ahead and call the police and say, hey, our friend suddenly cut out, and we don't know where she is. We haven't heard from her. She's not answering any calls. Nobody knows where she is. Well, the police are like, okay, it's only been a few hours. Maybe she, wanted to just get away, and we can't treat this like an emergency just yet.
You know what gets me?
What?
In cases like this? It's only been a few hours. Like, I know in our heads we be like, well, maybe this, but we can't keep maybeing stuff like this, especially if it's something that's done out of the ordinary.
Exactly.
So what is the whole purpose of being like, well, we got to wait 24 hours when it's in high alert? Because in the first 24 hours, what I learned on Criminal Minds, because it's one of my favorite shows, the first 24 to 48 hours is very critical. And if you're abducted, sir, you got less than 24 to 48 hours to find that person, because they will kill them.
Yeah, and also, it's not like, you can say, like, say they were kidnapped, all right? You don't know that they were kidnapped. Who's to say that the kidnapper's going to wait 24 hours before he does?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
So it's like, y'all not even giving the person that is the victim a chance to be found, because you're like, maybe she just cut out, but it's like, it's out of the ordinary.
Let's give the criminal a head start.
Right. It's like, even with being like, well, she just maybe has to cut out and just has to get away.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's criminal activity, especially if she said, okay, I'm going to go get the car for you.
Right. Exactly. It's not like, it's suspicious. So, come on, treat it like it's suspicious.
Right.
So, they didn't think that it was a big deal, but hours later, it's now May 29th. And the police get a different call about a car being on fire about 10 miles away from the hospital.
That's
Go ahead and eat your... Y'all.
That's what I'm...
Stop.
That's what I'm saying, police officer people.
Yeah.
You can't wait the 24 hours. She wasn't trying to get away, sis.
Right.
She was fighting for my life.
Right. So she cracks me up. She cracks me up. That's what she does. Okay. No, so the car is a white 1973 Toyota station wagon, and it was abandoned and on fire in an alleyway with no one in or around the car. They end up finding out, of course, that the car is Dorothy's. So now they begin their investigation into this as a missing persons case. Of
course they do.
Yeah, now they do. Now they do.
Of course. Oh, this is probably a missing persons case. Even though the car sped off in the thing and they said it was suspicious.
Yeah. Ugh. I know, y'all.
Look, as soon as I'm done with this sausage, I'm about to air kick or air punch somebody.
She sure is. Now, so they start investigating it as a missing persons case, and they start off by talking to Dorothy's parents. And what they find out from Dorothy's parents is absolutely concerning. So Dorothy had been getting mysterious phone calls from an unknown male caller. A stalker, okay? She had been being stalked. And he would call her up at work, and he would alternate between telling her he loves her and telling her he's going to kill her. All right?
And nobody took it serious.
And yeah. So in addition to him calling her and telling her these things, he will also give accurate details about her day-to-day routine.
Of course he would, because that's what stalkers do.
Exactly.
It's in their DNA.
Proving that he was watching her.
Spell DNA without spelling stalker. You can't.
What?
It's proven. It's a proven fact.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
It is what they do.
You know what?
Because you know what? Have you watched that TV show You on... Okay, sidebar. All right. The guy in You is so freaking fine.
Yes, and he can sing. Did you see him on TikTok singing?
I did not know that makes him even finer. Okay, and then like a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to my therapist, and I was telling him that I was watching the show You, and I said, you know you're lonely when you wish that the person from You would just start stalking you instead of Guinevere, because she doesn't deserve to be stalked the way he is stalking her. And I'm telling him, he wouldn't have to stalk me. He would just,
I would let you in. But then that's not the game that they want to play. They want to play the game of cat and mouse.
Well, shoot, he was playing it with Guinevere, and she didn't deserve it.
No, she didn't deserve to get stalked or no one deserves that.
Okay, maybe I'm a little off my rocker, but that's,
We all are off of our rockers.
Okay, back to the story.
One more ASMR.
Oh my gosh. I noticed, you guys, that I don't do this to A-Rain. Why? Okay. Oh gosh.
Because I be trying to be engaged. I have to engage.
The tongue pop too?
I gotta engage with you.
Lord have mercy. Okay, where was I at?
He was stalking her because it was in his Dana.
It was in his Dana, okay? So her mother, Vera, even remembered that the stalker once called her, and he tells her to go outside because he had something for her. Now,
he called the mom, or he called...
He called Dorothy.
Okay.
Now, I am not shaming Dorothy in any way, but why she does go outside, I don't know, but she does.
Probably to, how sometimes we be like, well, we don't want to alarm them anymore. We don't want to set them off. So if they
that's true
ask, then, maybe I'll go and then they'll let me go. But the thought in that really is kind of like,
yeah.
But you don't know because you don't know that person.
Right.
You don't know what they'll do.
I'm sorry, but if he is saying he's going to kill me, I'm going to take that very seriously. Yeah. And you're never going to see me if I have
I'm going
control over it
and loaded. Okay. I'm gonna have me a little Dorothy in my back pocket, and I'm gonna have me a little Harry in the other one.
Ooh, not the Harry.
And one that could shave Mister in the ankle.
Ooh.
you ain't gonna mess with me.
Yeah.
Or my cheering.
No, right? She had to think about Sean. Well, she does go outside, and when she does, she doesn't find or confront or meet the stalker. But what she does find is a single dead rose on the windshield of her car. Clearly, that scares the crap out of her.
Yeah.
I mean, that is terrifying. Like, what the heck? This dude knows my car. This dude knows
my
where
house.
I work. Yeah, he knows it all. So, he also once called her, and he said, quote, let me get into my voiceover, y'all.
Yeah. I believe you.
Hold on. Okay. Now you're gonna come my way. And when I get you alone, I will cut you up into bits so that no one will ever find you.
Oh my God, who is this? Stanley? Stanley, is that you? Is that you, Stanley?
What y'all think about that?
That was kind of creepy. That was creepy.
Yeah. So, Dorothy, like you just said, started thinking about getting a handgun. And then she also begins taking karate lessons. Mm-hmm. And this was just about a week or so before her disappearance. So, yeah. So
he was like, "Oh, look at she trying to take me out.
Right.
Let me get her before she get me."
Yeah, that's probably that's probably it.
If he was stalking her, he was probably following her everywhere.
Yeah.
You just ain't got no life. You can't sleep. Where you using the bathroom at?
Okay.
Cause that sound like you living outside her house, down the street, outside.
Right.
So where are you using it at,
girl?
How you eating?
You got me. I don't know.
How you making money? Cause I mean you ain't got no job.
I don't know. Now listen.
How you buying your cigarettes?
Girl, I don't know, girl. Let me just keep it going. This girl is smoking an invisible cigarette. She's smoking an invisible cigarette, and the police have an invisible suspect.
Okay.
They do. Now, Dorothy had dated on occasion, but she didn't have a solid boyfriend. But it could have been that maybe this was one of the guys she had gone on a date with. They didn't hit it off, and he latches on to her, and he's disgruntled that she's not, returning his advances or something like that, and turns into a stalker. That's one possible theory. Now, a week goes by after Dorothy was taken, and her parents get a phone call. They get a phone call from a man who asks, quote,
"Are you related to Dorothy Scott?" "Well, I've got her."
And then he hangs up.
What?
Then he hangs up.
What did they do?
Well, get this. The calls start coming in almost every Wednesday afternoon from 1980 to 1984.
Are you serious? 4 years.
4 freaking years.
4 years.
4 freaking years. Now,
I don't. Do you think that he probably kept her alive that whole?
Well, let me keep going. Let me keep going. So 4 freaking years, and it also seems that the stalker had taken to stalking Dorothy's parents because he would always call Vera when Jacob, her father, Dorothy's father, was alone. So how would he know that Vera is alone? How would he know that?
So he started off stalking Dorothy.
Yes.
Then he was stalking. So would he call?
He would call
any other time.
No, he would call every other Wednesday. Maybe Jacob had a job that he had to, work late on Wednesdays or something. But when Jacob was gone, that's when he would call.
So then he was stalking Dorothy and her mom
and her parents. Yeah.
What a.
Okay, but listen now. Because we got proof that this stalker is a little biatch, okay?
So hard.
Because one evening in April of 1984, he called, and guess who's there? Jacob. All right? And when Jacob answers the phone, Chicken Little Shit
so hard.
Hangs up and stops calling.
I bet. Because he did not like that another penis answered the phone. He's scared of penises.
He is. Now you can intimidate women.
Identifying persons.
You can intimidate women, but if a man confronts you, it's over. You done. I quit calling. Come on.
Hey. Sorry. Totally a misunderstanding.
Right.
I'm gonna just stop calling today.
You little.
It's gonna be the last day.
Pansy.
Time. Tell Vera I said hi.
Right.
All right. Bye.
Now let's go back to 1980. So the news, of course, they report on the kidnapping of Dorothy Scott, and in particular, the Orange County Register reports on it. And when they do that, an unidentified male caller calls the Orange County Register to speak with the marketing editor, Pat Riley. Not the managing editor, Pat Riley.
He wanted to make sure they got his story right.
Yes. Listen.
People be crazy.
Yes. Listen. So he talks to Pat and he lets him know that, quote, gotta do it again.
Yeah.
I killed her. I killed Dorothy Scott. She was my love. I caught her cheating with another man. She denied having someone else. I killed her. And then he hangs up.
Oh my God. First off, your vocals, they're wonderful. I love it. They're very scary. It's giving some like that crunchy vocal fry.
Yeah.
That vocal fry.
It's
First
creepy.
off, you know I hate vocal fry with all of my tingleness.
I know you do.
But that was a good vocal fry.
Yeah. I be trying, y'all.
Yeah.
I be trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so he killed her. So, okay.
That's what he's saying. What?
So I'm just like, so he must have kidnapped her.
Yeah.
Held her captive.
Okay.
For at least those 4 years or 3.5. When he heard the dad's voice.
Yeah.
He felt intimidated. He felt like, oh, that's another lover, even though he knows that's her father. But in his sicko mind, he's like, you're cheating on me.
Yeah,
and that is the ultimate betrayal, even though she's been locked up in his basement for 4 years.
Right. Could be.
This is crazy.
So he says that to Pat Riley. Now, this is really lending credence to the theory that the stalker was somebody that Dorothy had gone on a date with, and then he was psychotic and thinking that they had something going on, but there was nothing there, and maybe Dorothy goes on another date, and now he considers that cheating.
In his mind.
In my mind. Right. That's my song, boy. I know you hate that song.
I do so hard.
I love that song.
He literally in his mind was in a whole relationship.
Yes.
It's crazy that he was in a relationship with her, but disassociated the fact that she had a child.
Yeah. Girl.
That is crazy.
Yes. All right. So Pat was convinced that the man that he spoke with was telling the truth. So he calls the police and he says, look, this man knows details of the case that had not been published, such as what Dorothy was wearing when she was kidnapped and why she had been in the hospital in the first place. He like literally said because her friend had a spider bite. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So he must have been in the waiting room. While it's the amount of, like, when you do think about to think back to the show You.
Yeah.
He was like close. He would be very close to her.
Yes.
She's probably seen this man multiple times.
Yes.
He probably walked past her and like touched her and was like,
gosh.
I'm sorry, or
Goosebumps.
excuse me. Like, so the fact that he knows stuff like that, he was probably in the waiting room standing behind her, and she never knew,
girl.
because her and her other friend was so concerned about the coworker.
To think that he was that close, that really
and
just
she
gives me
did
chills.
not know.
Oh my God!
That's why we got to keep our head.
You better
on
keep your head on swivel.
Computer chair swivel.
Swivel.
Do you understand the kind of computer chair that if you lean back a little bit too far, you're gonna dip and fall out? That's how we got to keep our head on. swivel.
On that swivel.
We gotta keep that on
a
lazy Susan.
You better be seriously aware of your surroundings and the people. Like, look at faces.
Yes.
And know what the freak is going on around you.
Yes.
Girl, you just scared me. Saying that, I wasn't even thinking that.
That's crazy. Because people, a lot of women and children have been just abducted just in broad daylight.
Yeah.
They could be at work. I just saw a TikTok of this man literally trying to drag a woman that worked at like a Kroger or something. He had a hood on, but you could still see his face. He had a hoodie on, but he was like grabbing her and like trying to walk her towards the door. Like, couldn't nobody else see her?
What?
And she was like, stop. Ladies, look, I don't know. I know the whole thing. No, it was like on surveillance.
Oh my gosh, footage, bro.
Ladies, I don't know. I know a lot of women are afraid of guns, and I know our issue with gun control in the U.S. is crazy because we have mass shootings all the time.
Yeah.
But we have to really learn how to like protect ourselves. Mm-hmm. Either with weapons, like if you got a knife, like learn where, how you can conceal that knife, and learn where like the major spots are to slow somebody down.
Girl, I'm trying to kill. You trying to kill me? I'm trying to kill you.
That's what you trying to do. So that's why you got to learn where them sensitive spots are.
Yeah.
And then keep your weapons, like when you walk into your car, keep it in your hands so you could easily use it, but keep it like to where can't nobody really see it.
Right.
Oh.
All right, well, let's just keep going. So the caller claimed that Dorothy had called him that evening from the hospital. But that had to just be another one of his delusions because Pam was with her the whole time. And Pam was like, she did not call anybody from the hospital. She made sure her son was okay before we went to the hospital. So she just didn't call anybody. But that's what he said she did. And even with all of this, the police were not able to find out who could have been behind Dorothy's kidnapping. Now, although it was technically possible to track calls back then, it was nowhere near as easy as it is today. So,
right, because now you can ping cell phone.
Right. And then DNA was also like fairly new, wasn't widespread. So they just really they don't have the evidence. So essentially, this becomes a cold case. And Dorothy is nowhere to be found. Nobody knows. Her parents don't know if Dorothy is dead or alive. They don't know. And for 4 years, and then somebody's taunting them at that. So it just brought a lot of anguish to them, of course.
Yeah.
Now,
I think any person that has someone missing, especially for a long length of time, there's no body, there's no anything. There's always that hope of, well, they could be alive. They could be.
Yeah, you want to hold out hope.
Yeah, you want to hold out hope. You don't want to, like, kill them all.
Right. So, by 1984, in a news article that was, maybe around the anniversary about the case, Dorothy's dad makes an appeal to the killer. And he says, like, quote, I don't know what this guy wants. If he really ever had any love or compassion for her, it just seems like the decent thing to do to give her body to us so she can have a Christian burial. Mm-hmm. That's not too much to ask, is it? Unquote. And the unknown killer never grants that wish, of course. But on August 6, 1984, a construction worker finds a set of human and canine remains side by side, not very far from Santa Ana Canyon Road. Now, it's uncertain if the bones of the canine were just there, maybe by coincidence. Nobody says that Dorothy had a dog with her, so that maybe could the killer have had a dog? And I don't know. But there's canine bones and then there's human bones. So of course they call the police. Well, the bones were a little bit charred. So the bones of the human and the canine, they were charred, but this helps the police estimate when the bones were placed there.
Right.
Because 2 years ago, there was a brush fire that swept across that very site. So it is assumed that the bones were placed there. Then that brush fire charged the bones. Now, with the human remains, there's a watch, and then there's also a turquoise ring. Dorothy's mom confirms that those items belong to Dorothy Scott.
This was like in 2020?
No, in
2 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1984, August 6th. When the construction worker finds it,
okay.
And you know everybody's looking, and that's what's there. And the watch had also stopped at 12:30, and it had to be in the a.m. because Dorothy had left around 11, and so it was only like an hour or so after Pam and Conrad had seen her speeding off, and that watch stops. Now this is crazy, okay, because the conspiracy theorist in me is like, the watch stopped, maybe, you know, just like maybe the life stopped, so the watch stops. Or did maybe Dorothy's soul stop the watch?
Yeah.
In an effort to help?
Yeah, I be thinking about stuff like that. I'm like, was it damage done to the watch?
Right.
And then the watch stopped.
Right.
Like how you said, but I kind of like, I don't be like, I think of the spiritual part, but then I also be thinking like, but it could have been like she hit.
It's just more logical that it would be that. But for me, I'm like, if it was me, I'm finna come back and I'm finna make sure.
Not you gonna come back with your.
They find
you come back with her watch toolkit.
You're darn straight.
And she unscrew the back and she gonna take the battery out.
You're darn
and
straight.
So to stop it on the dot.
So they can know what happened, when it happened. But it's more likely, like, you know, every murder is violent. So she probably had a violent end, and the watch gets damaged in that violence. But it's just crazy that the watch stopped at that time. Now, even though there was identifying property, the police still needed concrete proof that that was Dorothy. So they were able to get that from dental records, that the bones were that of Dorothy Scott. But sadly, since there was only bones left and the bones were charred, they weren't able to find the cause of the death. Now, this is what ticks me off. This motherfudger decides to get bold again.
Hold up.
Oh, Lord. Why? Why, y'all?
Because I'm angry.
See, this is what I be doing while Adrian is telling her story. I get the little coffee real slow.
Girl, stop moving like a sloth.
I take my
pick that coffee up and spin them icicles around.
No,
and give them a little ASMR.
Y'all email us at the nosyhandspodcast@gmail.com and tell us, do y'all like this ASMR?
Y'all be liking them,
or do you
y'all
not?
Be getting from that ice slapping up against that cup?
No. This girl. Now, where was I at? See, now you done got me.
He got bold, big, and beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, bold, big, and bitchy.
Yes. So he starts calling again. And so he says, what does he say? Hold on.
He's calling her parents.
Yes, he calls the parents again. Yeah. And okay. It doesn't say what he says to the parents after Dorothy's bones is found, but he just starts calling them again. So, of course, Dorothy's parents, they like, look, keep calling us again. So the police install a voice recorder on their phone in an effort to start tracking the call. But like I said, the tracking was new. It just wasn't the best. And freaking the stalker, he knows not to stay on the phone long. So he hangs up before they can actually get a trace on the call.
Ugh.
Yeah. Now, the killer tortured that family for 4 years straight.
And they refused to change their phone number during that time because the killer never told them that he killed Dorothy. He says he has her. So they gonna keep the phone number in hopes that maybe one day they will be able to talk to Dorothy, like ask him to put her on the phone just so that they know she's okay or what. So they deal with this for 4 years because they are hoping that she is still alive. And he's playing with them, knowing good and well that if he doesn't tell them he killed her, then they gonna hope that he didn't.
Oh my God.
They gonna hope that he didn't. Now, because of the circumstances of the times and how long it was before she was found, with the car being burned, and it was just never enough forensic evidence to pinpoint the murder of Dorothy Scott. So this is a cold case. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to be solved.
Yeah,
unless somebody comes out.
Yep, unless it's a bedside confession,
right?
Or he gets to a point to where he feels like he needs to go stalk again.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's not going to be and that probably wasn't his first.
Especially with how good he was.
Right.
Especially,
I'm pretty sure that wasn't his first, but it at some point they started getting sloppy.
Yeah. And so when asked about the man who killed her daughter, Vera Scott says, quote, "He took a life that loved life. I feel in my heart that he deserves some sort of punishment. I hope," now this is me, "I hope that the killer has suffered so much pain and much more consequences than he could have gotten in prison at all. I promise you, if somebody kills me, I promise you, I'm gonna be like, Jesus, I know you want me up in heaven with you right now, but please just let me go back down there and haunt that motherfudger until he dies. All right, and then I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back.
You know, some people they talk about the people that work in like hospice and working. They say that sometimes with those bedside confessions, people will confess to stuff like that, or the people that they have harmed. And I guess this is part of their bedside confession too. The people that they've harmed, they see them.
Yes, and I would hope that that's what happened to this dude, and that he cannot sleep. That he cannot sleep for the rest of his life. Listen. Because if you don't get enough sleep over several days,
if 4 days top, you out of here.
Your brain stops functioning. Yeah, your organs start shutting down. So I really hope that is what happened.
It was the twisting. Yes,
I really hope that's what happened. But really, rest in peace to Dorothy Scott, man.
That is so tragic just for her family to still be like, I
hope her son, right, is okay. Like, I don't know where he is today, but I really hope that he's doing all right. I hope the killer is dead. And I hope he had a painful death.
Rest in hell, you motherfucker. Like,
that was scary. But so that's going to do it for this story, guys. The Orange County murder mystery. Hope you enjoyed that. But that's just real sad. Real sad.
These stories that we do are pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah.
So I would suggest the spiritual fairy that I feel like I am. Mm-hmm. I would suggest that we, as well as you all, go like cleanse yourself or something. Go like outside and like
get you some
spend time
air.
in nature just to get, because this stuff be heavy.
It really do.
It's heavy.
It's very unfortunate, but you know, it's also important to tell these stories,
right? Because then you can know what to look for,
right?
If you ever find yourself in a situation like
right
that.
Exactly.
Ladies, strap up,
get the packing,
get the pack, either bun with a G, either that, or they have little small inconspicuous knives. Like I have a knife key. It looks like a little fingernail file, but that mug is sharp. Okay. Get you a taser.
Yes.
Get you them things that the girls be selling with the little cute little football, and then they be having like the knuckle rings that got spikes on them.
Ooh, yeah.
Get y'all something like that to protect yourself. Just make it inconspicuous, because a lot of the times they not looking for us to be equipped with weapons like that.
Right.
They're really not. So keep your head on a swivel. Keep your kids close by.
Yes.
Be aware of your environment and your surroundings.
Yes.
Go out in groups if you need to. If you go out at night and you can't go with a group, make sure you keep your head on a swivel, because they always get you when you alone.
And being well lit places.
Yeah.
Don't take shortcuts.
Yep.
You know, just stuff like that.
Learn how to protect yourself, because stuff like this, and I know this was in the 80s, so
yeah,
I think around that time, especially probably in the area, they weren't thinking, like, the people were still leaving their doors unlocked and car doors and windows down and stuff.
Right.
Now people big bag and bold with it. They'll snatch you from in front of a bunch of people, and people just be going on with their life like, okay.
Just crazy.
That's crazy. So keep your head on the swivel. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
Protect your family. And
y'all stay safe.
Go take some boxing classes so you can at least learn how to punch somebody.
Yeah.
So back them up off you.
Good anger management.
Yeah, and then whip out that spiky ring and throat. Yep. It'll blind you.
Oh Lord.
Take your vocals.
Why? Well, you know, we love y'all. A-Rain, tell them what our socials are.
Socials, the Nosy Hens podcast.
Yeah. And the email I already said earlier, because I want to know, do y'all really like this quote unquote ASMR?
Look.
Oh Lord. I'm fixing to stop it right now. Bye y'all.
Bye.